Hey everyone, Misha B. Barkin here. If you're watching this, it's 2024. We made it. God, what a year, right? I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. This wasn't a good year for me. I'm gonna be honest. Also, just to preface, I don't have a script this time around. I've got bullet points, but this is gonna be more so like, it's gonna be more from the heart. I just want to be a little more personal on this one and just talk about what's happened over this past year and what I've been through and what I've learned in that time. That being said, we're gonna start off with a little bit of a sillier situation now that I'm done with it, but I don't know how many of you remember the Purple Yinba situation at the beginning of the year. If you weren't there, somebody named Purple Yinba was like copyright striking a bunch of smaller furry YouTubers and just delivering strikes left and right and making videos about doing it. And it was super cool to watch Team YouTube do nothing about it, even though we tagged them and showed them specifically the posts that they were admitting to doing it. But what do we know? Assuming we even got an answer from Team YouTube. Usually we didn't, but the ones that did get answers, it was usually like, I don't know what's going on. But yeah, that's just wild to look back on, that somebody was just able to do that. And the situation's long since done with, but that whole situation was just stupid. And it was everybody, man. I hadn't posted in a few months. I'll get to why here in a second, but I hadn't posted in a few months. Labrat was targeted, Beta was targeted, and then Toby Larone was Toby is a guy. He's just, I don't get why he was targeted of everybody. I don't get why I was targeted, but more so, I don't get why he was roped up in all of this. I also do want to apologize for not saying something sooner in that whole situation, because I didn't speak up until I got involved. Truth be told, I thought it was dealt with. Like, I saw Lab post about it, and then I didn't really see anything else, so I thought Team YouTube did its job, and I thought it was like, oh, Fall Strike cleared that up right away. This sucks. Anyway, yeah, Wave 2 came out, and that was not the case. That being said, that's all done and dusted, but yeah, that was a fun way to start the year. Now for the not so fun way to start the year. It was early January, and I was at work, and I got the call that my mom had passed away, and that was just suddenly that's on my plate. And just, there's a lot of legal stuff when somebody dies. All of their stuff, it's yours now, whether you want it or not. Their house, everything in the house, just everything. Within a week of hearing about her passing, I was in an office discussing cremation, and suddenly I have to come up with $1,600 I don't have. Like, I'm having to talk to a lawyer and a real estate person and people I've never met, and all of a sudden, all of this is happening within a span of a few weeks of learning about this. And just over the year, the situation just kept kind of getting worse. Like, dealing with cleaning the house and dealing with having to go somewhere that you've avoided for years because of, growing up in that house and the memories, just dealing with that all of a sudden, not really having the support of the living family. I wish I could sit here and say that I got support from family that was still living and helping, but I didn't. I was really on my own for all of this. If anything, family kind of made it worse. I don't know how they did it, but it was just really rough to deal with. And this was the year of learning who's got my back and who I can rely on and who I can call my family. And unfortunately, I guess blood isn't it, It's a really bitter pill to swallow, and I'm still dealing with it. Like, I can say it out loud, but I don't think I've accepted that yet. And just, it's gonna be a rough lesson to learn over the next few months, I guess. So just between that and the Purple Yinba stuff, I stopped posting for a few months there, and just kind of abandoned the channel for a little bit, and I feel bad about it. I feel bad for not posting for that long. I couldn't, and that sounds lame as hell. It's like, oh, you couldn't get on a computer and make a dinky little video a week? Like, I physically couldn't. I was surviving during this time. I wasn't living. It was taking everything I had to exist, and just the thought of making content or like making videos was the farthest thing on my mind. If I wasn't at work and I wasn't at that house, I didn't exist. And it was just a really rough point and a really hard point to deal with in my life. After a few months though, I kind of just stopped feeling sorry for myself, I guess. That sounds really bad. There's more to it, but things started easing up and I realized, hey, I need to take control of my life again. I need to be me again. And so I went back to posting. There wasn't really a given reason, but I just kind of did. And I'm so glad I did. I've been posting roughly every week since. I missed a couple of weeks recently. It's been a whole nother deal, but that's not really relevant. Yeah, and then getting to go to Furlandia, I can't even explain how much that helped. And just, I met 2 great friends, Quinn and Stripe, on that trip. I met my friend Moofin. I got to meet Cass for the first time. Cass and I have been friends online forever. That was so cool. There was just so many people that I met at that con. I wish I could name them all. I can't off the top of my head. It was Tabin, the whole Barely Fur casting. There was so many cool people to meet, and it really, like, relit a fire in me. Not just, like, with furry stuff, but just, like, in general. Like, I was living again, and that was such a good feeling after just existing for months on end. I was alive again, and I continued to make content throughout this time. Again, I missed a couple weeks here and there because cleaning a house is a lot of work. Have you ever gotten your friends together and moved 2 tons of stuff in one day? Would you like to? The answer should be no. But yeah, things have calmed down, especially as of recently. I can go back to being me and just being myself. I'm about to enroll in school again. I'm gonna go finish that up, and just things are looking up, you know? This was a hellish year, but things are looking up, and I'm really excited to see what the future has. I want to take a moment here to just say thank you to some wonderful people. My roommate Splat, they're the one that did all the stills and everything. Like, they have been so supportive throughout this entire process, and just so important in just keeping me sane through all of this, because I don't think I could have done it without living with them. Like, they know firsthand everything I've gone through, and just to have that shoulder to cry on has been monumentally needed in this time. And of course, my boyfriend Argo, just being able to call and vent to him and be able to just escape every so often, and just having him there to be late night Discord calls and just watch stupid videos together. We watched a Pop-Tart get eaten alive. I think it was last night. That was really weird. Like, I genuinely could not have done this year without those 2 in my corner. And I'm so glad they were there. And I want to give a shout out to Papamut, because they are a Twitch streamer. They're a furry VTuber, in case you don't know. And they just, like, randomly commented on one of my videos and was like, hey, we love your stuff. I heart reacted it and replied, and I was like, hey, thanks so much. That means a lot. I love seeing your TikToks. And they replied and they were like, hey, we're actually live right now if you want to tune in and hang out in the chat. And I did. And he has such a wonderful community over there. And they're just so supportive, and sometimes it's just nice to have that validation, you know? Making videos and throwing them out into the stratosphere, it's really hard to see the results sometimes and just see the feedback. And so just to see people genuinely excited for what I'm doing was really nice. And just since then, Papamut and I have chatted a few times, and I was supposed to meet them in MFF. MFF didn't work out for me, but I genuinely I made such a good friend this year over that, and that has been unbelievably nice. So just from the bottom of my heart, thank you. You've been such a wonderful friend, Papamut. I can't wait to meet you in person. You are gonna get the biggest hug imaginable. And just, as a whole, thank you to all of you guys. Thanks for all the support over this year. Nobody was overtly mad that I was gone for 2 or 3 months. Nobody, you know, it was just like business as usual when I started posting again. I just started getting comments and people being excited that I was posting again. And I can't thank you enough for that. I don't always reply and I don't always react to comments, but I do read them and I do see what you guys are talking about. And it makes me smile. I'm so glad that one of my goals with doing this has always been to make others smile. I've been there where the only place you can turn is an online space and watching a content creator, you know, that you feel comfortable with. And knowing that I can do that for others and that I can make people smile and I can spread positivity and just be a positive influence while I'm here on this earth, that makes me so happy. And I am so humbled to even have a platform of 15,000, like, it just blows me away. And I can't thank you guys enough. Whew, that got a little deep, sorry. Yeah, just thank you. And here's to 2024. It's gonna be a great year. Fair warning, like I said, I'm gonna be re-enrolling in school, so posts might slow down. I have a backup plan to make sure that shouldn't happen, but in case it does, so be it. But things are only gonna get better. And I hope to see you there. So yeah, like and subscribe, Happy New Year, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!